Yep. This needs to happen. How's it going, everybody? It's Bishop here for Tactical POV. And I just got something, man. I got an alert today that I got to talk about. It involves certain law that certain states have that my state here, Ohio, I've been trying to get to push here and get it to go through here. So before I get into it, though, to talk about this law, guys, if you like my video, if you like my podcasting setup here and just bringing up some up-to-date stuff here, some reviews on different things of what I'm doing here, and to get the chance to see some other things that I'm interested in as I dig into Second Amendment stuff, of course. There's a gun channel, but I do have other interests as well. So if you want to see what those are, you can catch my live show on Facebook Live on my business page at Tactical POV LLC, Sundays, 7 o'clock, as I work out the bugs here in the infant stage of this thing here. I think I'm getting it nailed down pretty good. So did a lot of testing, should be ready to go. So as I talk about this thing here, I've got to bring this up because this is something that I've been wanting to happen here for a while, quite a while here in my state here. So let me bring this thing up, what I'm talking about. And you see what I'm talking about as far as stand your ground law. Some states have this. Here in Ohio, we've been working on getting this approved. It was talked about, I believe, maybe... what was it? Probably, I think here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it was up in the air, tried to get passed before. I think this was trying to get it passed through John Kasich, who's absolute trash. So this is clown. Calls himself a Republican. He's not a Republican, man. He's a damn liberal. So, but anyway, I digress. That's just another subject I could dig into him deep on, John Kasich's just an absolute piece of crap, in my opinion. But anyway, we've got Mike DeWine here in this bill talking about Senate Bill 175. As you see here, coming from the NRA-ILA here in Fairfax, Virginia, headquarters of the NRA. As we see here on the screen, I'm going to read this out and give you my 2 cents on this thing and explain to you not only people who might see this video here locally, because I've had conversations with people here locally about this deal, not really understanding what stand your ground law means. They've got a kind of a misconception about what it is, what it involves. So let me read here. It says, an important piece of NRA-backed legislation passed the Ohio legislature on Friday and is on Governor Mike DeWine's desk awaiting his signature. Senate Bill 175 strengthens Ohio self-defense laws by removing an individual's duty to retreat. Let me highlight this here. Ohio law should favor victims of crime rather than the criminal, as it does now. When a crime occurs, a victim has milliseconds to determine the best course of action for survival. Victims should not be required by law to run away or worse, be penalized for fighting back if it is their best or only means for survival. This is John Weber, Ohio State Director for the NRA. This is a common sense measure. Anyone who opposes it willfully places the interest of the criminal above the interest of the victim. So this is the no duty to retreat amendment. Expands current law. It states the law-abiding people, if they are attacked when in a place they are legally allowed to be, do not have a first attempt to run away from their attacker before defending themselves. This is already the law in Ohio. So homes and cars, which is the Castle Doctrine. So is what that means. It says this, let me highlight here. This is an important piece of legislation that should concern all NRA members in Ohio. We encourage them to reach out to Governor DeWine, ask him to sign Senate Bill 175 into law, concluded Weber. So that is something here. As I said, I got an alert about that today. And as I explain this, the Castle Doctrine, when I break this down to my students here, when I teach my CCW courses and stuff, and I break down exactly what you can and can't do, laws and stuff through here in Ohio, what's allowed, and we still have a duty to retreat. Okay, now understand this. I want people to understand this, and I explain this to every single one of my students in every class I have. Ever since I've been teaching a long time, quite a long time. Okay, you have three rules that constitute the fact of self defense here in Ohio. Okay. First of all, you have a rule that is the defendant is not at fault. That means you cannot be the initiator, the aggressor, or any act of where you cannot assert your affirmative defense. That means once you engage in any of that, if you throw the first punch, if you get in the scuffle, you start the confrontation, or even drawing your firearm first, and in any reasonable condition outside of basically initiating or aggressing someone else, then you are no longer can assert your affirmative defense. So that negates this thing as it leads to stand your ground. I know me and a good friend of mine, we talked about this here on one of my shows back here a few ones back that we had a discussion about this. And he brought up a good point. You guys have to go back and watch that video again. I'll leave a link to it here in the descriptions where you can go back and take a look, or else you might catch it in the card. I can probably pop it up in the card over here. But he made some points to a degree, but I also had to explain to him that some of that gets negated because it won't even reach that portion of somebody else's defense in the defense of a criminal. So that's, like I said, that's defense number one, or condition number one. Condition number two is honest and reasonable belief of serious harm or bodily harm or death. That's reason two, to where you may be able to implement deadly force in order to save yourself. The real rule number three, as we have here in Ohio, is the duty to retreat. The duty to retreat is number three, and that is where this here, as far as the right to stand your ground, should hold tight to either give you a choice. You could either have the duty to retreat. If you don't have the duty to retreat, then you have the right to stand your ground and defend yourself where you are. This is where this needs to either be clarified. This needs to be passed. Okay. Flat out, in my opinion, needs to be passed. I've been saying this for the longest time here, talking about this, the entire stand your ground deal, because it was so much of it talked about during the Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman case. Okay. There was a reason why his defense attorney didn't go that route with the stand your ground law that they had there. I believe it was in Florida, if I remember right. If I remember, it's been a long time as a case. So, but there was a reason why his defense attorney didn't go that route with him, because it was an easier chance of George Zimmerman being convicted under that defense than a self-defense case. Okay. He had a better chance of being acquitted under self-defense because he had things in his favor working towards him as far as witnesses, the scuff marks from the attack, and witnesses of the attack. The problem is just couldn't find that missing time in between that and the time on the 911 call until witnesses of the attack was happening. So that's why. Now, if you wouldn't understand your ground in his case, he would have got convicted. So that's the reason why his attorney didn't pursue that. This smart decision on his attorney's part. But people that think they get the misconception of basically how stand your ground works, you won't get a chance to implement stand your ground if you violate conditions number one or condition number two. Condition number one, if you violate that, that'll automatically negate your right to stand your ground and defend yourself. If you become the initiator, the aggressor, the attacker, then it totally negates the fact that you had the right to defend yourself if things turn or flip. It's not going to work for you. Okay. So it's going to get thrown out. So you can't go into court and plead the fact, well, I had the right to stand my ground. It's like, well, yeah, but you started the entire confrontation, which escalated and led to something else. It went farther to a point to where either you or the victim that you aggressed or something felt the need to defend themselves with lethal force because they honestly believed that they were about to receive serious bodily harm or death. So you can't sit here and say you start something, then say, well, I had the right to defend myself here, and this is why I did what I did. And it doesn't give that criminal that option. Okay, you become the criminal if you start this deal. So The thing is, it's more to protect the innocent, protect the victim, saying, hey, I had nothing to do with this. I didn't have anything to do, initiate the attack on me, on my person, or my family, or anything else. This was totally aggressed upon me and my family without any part of me being involved in this. It even gets even kind of slippery though. The simple factor where maybe if you initiated through verbally or something, that's not going to count verbally. Okay, so a verbal assault, a verbal attack, or something like that, that's not going to save you. If it's something that escalates into something physical or something like that, then this is where it comes into saying, hey, you can say what you want, you can cross words with each other. It is what it is, or whatever. Once it becomes physical, it becomes to a point to where it's a physical attack upon you, then it becomes the point of saying, hey, I didn't initiate this. Words alone is not going to save you. It becomes physical, as I just said. If I get aggressed or I get attacked, then I have the right to stand my ground. If I honestly believe that I'm about to receive serious bodily harm or death, then I have the right to stand my ground and defend myself. I don't have to initiate step number 3 as a duty to retreat from it. I say you should, personally, I say you should always try to retreat and de-escalate the situation and leave that situation, honestly, on my end. So I'm still with 1, 2, and 3, but I'm also in favor for the duty or no duty to retreat. This is what's coming from me. So it's not really torn as far as when I see it or when I teach. I said, look, to keep yourself in the clear, make sure you don't initiate anything. If you honestly believe you're about to receive serious bodily harm or death, then you have to take the appropriate actions to save your life or your family's life and defend yourself. If you can retreat from a situation, to de-escalate it, retreat, and evade any kind of confrontation that you can. If you can. If you can't, then you still should have the right to stand your ground and defend yourself. So no duty to retreat, saying you make a choice. You either retreat or you stand your ground, as long as you are not the initiator or the aggressor of the situation, the confrontation. There you go. So to nail it down, make it simple, make it clear cut, to go along, to back everything along with the Castle Doctrine, which we have. Some other states have Castle Doctrines. Honestly, I wish our state's Castle Doctrine, if you're hearing me, anybody here in legislature, Governor DeWine, if you're hearing it, you need to strengthen our Castle Doctrine, make it stronger than what it is. Therefore, if you're really talking about being serious about innocent victims or people, law-abiding citizens or whatever, defending themselves in their home, in their car, it needs to be stronger than what it is. We have it, but there's some gray to it that I look at it and I'm like, you know what? You need to clarify a few things in here and honestly broaden the Castle Doctrine for protection, broaden it a little bit farther than the way it goes. As it's set right now, it needs to go a little farther, just a little more broad spectrum of it for total protection for law-abiding citizens, innocent citizens such as us. So that's my opinion on this video. I'm not going to try to drag this thing out too quick. I just had to bring this up because I saw this today. I'm like, you know what? This came up. I said, I actually want to put this out here and talk about this a little bit. So everybody here in the state of Ohio right now, contact Governor DeWine, get in touch with him somehow, email him. If you can get in touch with him, say, hey, we really support Senate Bill 175. Make sure you sign this thing into law for Ohioans here and get the ball rolling on this. As I said, it was talked before, I believe, with John Kasich before. I wasn't holding my breath with that garbage individual. So, but Governor DeWine, we're giving you a chance here too, because there's some things. I also got some issues with you as well. Right now, not so much as John Kasich. John Kasich really gets him. Oh, God, he makes my skin crawl, man. Dude just, yeah. I might go all in on him one day, man. I'm telling you, that dude he just irritates me like you wouldn't believe. Oh my God, he just rubs me the wrong way. Always has. So, but anyway, I digress. That's another conversation, another time. So anyway, guys, hey, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you didn't, that's fine. I get that too. Leave your comments below. Give me some feedback on my show, on my deal here, what I'm doing, because I love doing this, man. I like to get some things off my chest and just want to talk, man, and get it out here. trying to get my videos back out in the field. But as I said, this is the season. Unfortunately, weather is not cooperating, and it's this just that time of year. It just makes it super hard. So, other product reviews. If you got companies out here, if you get a hold of this video, man, I also do product reviews too. I really want to try a product review. I might have to spend the money on this myself, but I want to try the new Axel headphones, earbud headphones, the noise canceling ones. I really want to try those, man. Serious, because they're really striking my interest big time. I've been looking at them for quite a while now. Like over summer, I'm like, dude, I want to check those out. So if I get a chance to, guys, if I'll send them me a set out to review, man, give my honest opinion on them, and I can review it and bring it out to you guys. If not, I have to spend the money on it and bring the review myself. But I am going to try it out. But anyway, this is Bishop here for Tactical POV. As I always say, guys, you are responsible for your own safety.